Really weird stuff.
Really Weird Stuff is a holistic Twin Peaks podcast. That means we discuss each episode within the context of the series as a whole. In other words, spoilers abound. Welcome to Really Weird Stuff, episode 21, wherein we will discuss Twin Peaks Season 2, episode 13, Checkmate. It was written by Harley Payton and directed by Todd Holland, and it originally aired on January 19th, 1991. I'm Jessica Baxter.
Annie Malone. I almost said the wrong name.
And joining us to talk about Checkmate is one half of the X-Rated podcast, Matt Fisher.
Hi! It's good to be here.
Thank you so much for helping us make a very mediocre episode more entertaining.
You guys knew these episodes were coming.
It's real filler.
This is by design, because I was like, we need a funny personality to join us
well,
to
thank
talk
you.
about this. Otherwise, it's just too painful. Otherwise, it's just me and Annie groaning at each other.
Honestly, I had put Twin Peaks on hold for a little bit, because Ryan and I were on for a big episode.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff happened.
Oh, gosh.
And then, I don't remember, is it one episode, 2 episodes before Leland's demise? Mm-hmm. I watched through that episode when, Leland confessed and that is resolved. And then I watched Fire Walk with Me after that. And I just kind of put Twin Peaks on hold after that. And I was like, oh, it's done. Honestly, I think actually watching Fire Walk with Me and then the episode where Leland confesses, I think that would be a more optimal viewing chronology. Because you already know that Leland is the one who did it before that episode. But, if you do that episode last, it kind of gives a nice little note to end. There's a little emotional redemption for Leland.
Yeah.
And you feel like the whole Laura Palmer story, it's not wrapped up, but it's enough for you. And so, yeah, it's just I got through those and I was just oh, I don't need to keep going. I got what I needed out of this. So I had to do a little catch up. It's 4 or 5 episodes after that before we get to Checkmate. And you know what's a perfectly fine way to spend a rainy Sunday afternoon? Watching Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
totally.
Even these sort of off-peak episodes, I was it's still just perfectly easy. I'm just lying on the floor, watching it, playing with the dog. This is fine for a rainy Sunday.
There's stuff to enjoy. I mean, it's still better than an episode of 2.5 Men or something.
I wouldn't know. I watched it.
It's interesting that Twin Peaks doesn't have a hatchet order or whatever, specifically. Everyone can kind of throw in their 2 cents about what order to watch episodes in, and especially where to stick Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah.
And I really like that thought of having it be right after Lonely Souls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought it would make more sense at the time, but
that's really cool.
To wait till after the whole Leland death thing. But no, I think if you watch it right before that episode, next time I watch the series all the way through, that's where I'm going to inject Fire Walk with Me, is after Lonely Souls, but before the confession episode.
I think it's especially perfect because Drive with the Dead Girl is after Lonely Souls, and where he's driving around erratically with Maddie in the trunk, and it kind of echoes Fire Walk with Me when he's driving erratically with Laura.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike comes and yells at him, and then having the next one after that be the confession, and how that calls back to Laura greeting him.
Mm-hmm.
When he says he sees Laura, if you've seen Fire Walk with Me, you think of Laura in the lodge, kind of going to light.
I like it.
I love it. Oh my god, there's so many fun ways to watch this show. But unfortunately, this is just one of those ones you have to get through.
Yeah.
If you're wondering, it's Saturday, March 18th, 1989 in the timeline. It opens on stars and space and someone whispering Cooper. I really listened to the voice to see if it was recognizable, and it wasn't really. I thought maybe it might be the giant, but I'm not entirely sure. Doesn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah. No, I know.
And then the mysterious object rotates in. It's kind of a cheesy effect. Like 3 triangles and
Like the toxic chemical sign
that's
and it's definitely like an After Effects. Think back to my days at the Art Institute doing linear editing and putting little filters on. It's almost like you're in preschool putting shapes on the screen and turn to shape. So that's not great. Todd Holland has a couple little cheesy things that he does. But then it gets really spooky and I like it. It's the flames and Garland sitting on that crazy throne.
Yeah, does that throne come back at all? Or does that sort of jungle wilderness backdrop, does that come back in later episodes?
I don't think so, but I haven't watched the later episodes that recently.
Yeah, I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, it was fire, and then it's like he's sitting on like some like throne in the jungle or something.
And is that like supposed to be his vision? Because he seems pretty out of sorts.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like his psyche. And he's kind of talking about how he's been conditioned to have these blocks. He says he's immune from hypnosis. And I think that's like part of his training to withstand interrogation of all kinds, including hypnosis.
Major, there are some new techniques that might help us break through your amnesia.
My memories are immune from regression. I can feel them. Palpable smells and sensation. Everything is known to me, yet somehow beyond my reach.
So I think that that's kind of like his psyche that we're seeing. So we're just seeing the inside of his head, and that's what it looks like. It's just like a stone chair in the woods for some reason.
Yeah, Major Briggs, there's a defining characteristic that he has. It's that he's a cool customer. And like he's like shook as he's trying to explain this. Like he's struggling to find the right words.
Yeah.
Like
Perhaps there are sources of information that are so important as to transcend the human need to conspire. Information of such weight that pertains not. Oh God. Is this meant for the soul? My soul?
and
He is a man of words, usually. He's so very eloquent all the time.
well, like even when Bobby's like giving him grief about something, like he's always collected about it. His feathers never get ruffled.
I feel like if you can be so cool in front of a teenager who's spinning out that hard, then like you know something really terrible happened to him that he's like this.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of interesting stuff happening in the scene. He's really out of sorts, and then he says, "Is this meant for my soul?" And he kind of gestures to the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering like if he meant specifically the table there or just something.
You see, like, not seeing a table, he's talking about his
Right,
flowery
like,
throne.
what is it?
Yeah.
But then there is something in Twin Peaks about souls being trapped in wood, like Margaret's log is supposed to contain her husband's soul.
And then Josie's.
And then Josie's in a doorknob.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're referring to her as Margaret.
I try to be not stigmatizing. In the
Hey,
show,
you know.
even though the people in the show use stigmatizing language all the time.
That's her name. We're not children, you know. This scene also further proves your theory that the doctor's always around for some reason.
Oh my god,
I
to
know,
take a
it's
Polaroid.
awkward.
Why couldn't Andy have done that? And
He's-
then he's like, it's 3 triangles. They're like, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, we've all seen it. Second of all, we're looking at the picture. What would we do without your expertise?
I think it is a thing. He has to have something to do with it.
He's the one who says, like, oh, there's, like, regression therapy or something. And I'm just like, you're a medical doctor, not, like, a psychiatric doctor.
He's like, I'll learn anything you want me to.
Yeah, I'm whatever this town needs me to be.
He really hates his home life, I think.
Yeah.
Tell me where, oh, where is Gersten? It really makes a lot of sense what happens to Gersten in The Return.
And Briggs' hand is shaking at some point in here.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the first handshake we see? Like, shaky hand? There was that episode where everyone's hand was shaking.
Yes. Maybe twitching and shaking is a motif in this episode, because later on we get Leo's eye twitching. So just like involuntary body stuff, because Ernie's involuntary sweating, your body betraying you maybe a little bit.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of just like obscured faces or stuff on your face, and so maybe that's there's
Yeah,
so much
I
of
know.
that.
There's so much stuff on your face.
Not to jump too far ahead, but like when Norma is talking to what's her ex's name, who also works in the diner, Hank. She's about to like head out, and they're like talking to each other like between the milkshake machine or whatever it is. You don't get their full thing. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Shelley and Leo both, when you first see them, both have stuff all over their face.
Mm-hmm.
James does, and then Evelyn always has something covering her eyes. You know? Yeah, there were so many things like that. Oh, and the lady with the ketchup stain.
Oh, yeah. Another interesting thing that Briggs says is that he can't remember anything except he has a disturbing image of a giant owl. And then Cooper says, how big?
How big?
Enough to cloud my mind's memory.
Like he meant, how big is the owl? Not how big is the image.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought that was just a really interesting exchange.
Yeah.
And then also, it kind of personifies the owl itself of clouding his memory. It makes you think of the owl being the one that isn't letting him remember.
The sprinkler drips on the photo.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be like a ceiling fan? Like, is it supposed to like signify something, or?
It's definitely supposed to be something spooky. I couldn't find any theories about it online, but what it reminds me of is just the last time we had attention drawn to that. It's because it went off when Leland Bob was around, and then
yeah.
Bob decided to kill Leland.
Okay, yeah.
Briggs was in there under that, and it's just kind of like lodgy, evil stuff.
I feel like that is good enough for me.
Okay.
Like that, I like that, yeah.
But it's weird because the smoke is what set it off before. You didn't need that this time. But it's definitely meant to be spooky. And
Yeah.
there is a really low, ominous tone throughout,
Yeah.
which is like basically the soundtrack of The Return.
Yeah, there's a lot of spooky sound in this one.
Yeah. It's funny because in The Return, in the closed caption, it always says when there is a low ominous tone or a soft. Closed captioning on these DVDs is absolute garbage. Let's see, what else do we need to say about this? Oh, first he talks about Project Blue Book, which actually was a real thing.
Are you familiar with Project Blue Book?
Yes, sir, I am. The Air Force investigation into the phenomena of unidentified flying objects.
Project Blue Book really was an Air Force program that started in 1952 to study if UFOs were a threat to national security and to catalog any sightings and try to figure out what they are. And they collected 12,000 reports
Wow.
between 1952 and 1969.
There are those of us who continue in an unofficial capacity, examining the heavens as before. In the case of Twin Peaks, the earth below. We are searching for a place called the White Lodge.
And that's when the guys in uniform show up. And
You
they're
gotta
like,
come with
you gotta
us.
go.
Quit spilling all these secrets, Briggs.
You're compromised here.
Major Briggs?
I've been expecting you.
Hold on just a minute, fellas. Colonel Riley's orders. I don't care what orders you got. This is my station, and Major Briggs happens to be a friend of
Harry, afraid we will have to continue this discussion at a later date.
Are you sure you want to go with him?
But
He does say, I've been expecting you, as if it were like, I knew that saying that would get you in here.
He also says something along the lines of, I'm sworn to like secrecy on these, but suddenly I don't care about that as much anymore.
Exactly what does your work involve?
that information, as I first repeated endlessly to myself, classified. Though the keeping of secrets seems less meaningful to me now.
He does say that. I wonder if that was partly what...
Here's
got
some
those
national
guys in
secrets,
there.
guys. Like,
Like, oh shit.
Okay, Taki.
And again, that really speaks to what happened to him being really fucked up.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's like, it's bigger than national security.
Yeah, as the show's gone on, I've really liked Major Briggs. He's very zen. Like, I kind of feel like David Lynch must identify with him a little bit. He just seems like meditative and calm, and David Lynch talks highly about the power of like routine.
Yeah.
And I feel like Briggs is like a man of regiment and routine as well. So I think like David Lynch must see something in Briggs, an admirable quality. And he's always shown in like a positive light. light. It's not like the way like Andy or even Truman are kind of shown from time to time. Briggs is always kind of shown in a positive light.
Absolutely. I can't think of a single thing that he's done that's been like a transgression.
He even calls the log lady Margaret.
Yes,
Yeah.
And he believes her, listens to her, and he's so open-minded.
That's really, it's the best people are the ones who vibe with Margaret.
Yes, totally. When we meet him, he's already kind of on the fence about loyalties to the military.
He's just the opposite of the sort of Full Metal Jacket drill sergeant. It's like if you knew the Major in real life, you wouldn't detect any type of like aggression or violent tendencies from him. He just seems very like at peace.
And yet he seems like you wouldn't want to fuck with him either.
Yeah, it seems like if it came to it, he could throw down just fine, but definitely like last resort, physical violence.
I love that guy. So then we are in Harry's office.
Oh, go ahead, Ernie. It won't bite.
Not you, no, pal. These men are dangerous thugs. Not that I haven't met plenty of their kind before. Jorano is a hard man, but I've known men that'll make him quiver.
Ernie, come on. Make the call.
It seems like Denise has been trying to convince him for a while
Yeah.
to make a phone call. We all know how hard it is to make a phone call, so I kind of side with Ernie a little bit. But
Ernie,
Ernie is so tiresome.
he looks like a mixture of Richard Kind and Robert Protsky. Like,
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
Robert Protsky. I think his name's Alex Paris, the guy I'm thinking of.
Robert Protsky, he's probably best known for like Mrs. Doubtfire. He was like the boss that Robin Williams was trying to get like a television deal with. And so like in the last scene when it's like he's bouncing between like Sally Field and Robert Protsky's the boss at like the other side of the restaurant. Yeah, Richard Kind and Robert Protsky.
There's a lot of Richard Kind there. A
Yeah.
lot. I have to keep reminding myself it isn't Richard Kind, actually. I kind of wish it were. I feel like he'd be better.
He'd be good at it, yeah.
See, I was thinking Alex Rocco. Like,
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
and that guy.
Oh, okay.
Not two super hot guys. That's true.
But David Duchovny as Denise, he wears it well. David Duchovny fills out a dress.
Although I hate this dress.
It's very
It's-
ugly
This
dress.
dress is
Yeah.
hideous.
I wrote down
It's
hideous
very early
dress.
90s.
It's just such awful colors. It looks like Thanksgiving threw up all over Denise. I'm sorry.
It is like a table runner.
He really gets like the feminine mannerisms. Like even later when he's
When he puts on the suit,
he's like,
there's still a little feminine energy to it. I really liked it, actually.
He does such a good job.
he's great as Denise.
Denise is so funny. I love
Yeah.
Denise. I want Denise to live in Twin Peaks and hang out all the time and just be part of the gang.
I was worried that it was going to be cringy on this watch, but really, it's done pretty respectfully. When Denise isn't in the room, everyone still refers to her as she.
Yeah.
People are curious but polite. I feel like that'd be the honest way that like these small town folks would approach a person like Denise. I don't think that they're being any more exploitative than they are of like hard of hearing people with Gordon Cole or something, you know? I was actually kind of surprised because it ended up being like a non-issue for most of the people. The last episode was when they introduced Denise and everyone was over it by the end of the episode. And oh, this is just another agent like any other agent.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I like
And
that.
even Audrey is like so excited. They have women agents.
Yeah.
It was good. David Duchovny maybe should have done more comedy.
Oh my god, yes. I know.
You know.
I mean, there are funny X-Files episodes. I don't know if either of you ever watched the X-Files, but
I did
watched
like as it aired like originally, yeah.
And those would be the best ones when
Oh,
there
yeah?
must be some opportunity for him to do something funny.
David Duchovny's tall but like slender, so women's clothes kind of look good on him. He pulls it off.
The legs, yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime he's wearing tights, they're so I'm like, yes, really good.
Denise like gives Ernie like a little noogie at
Yes,
some point.
that
Like
makes me laugh
Really
so
funny,
hard.
yeah.
It's at the end when he finally makes the call.
Ernie's
and
a little
he's
gun shy or
"Yeah,
something."
Speak to Jean Reno, and then Denise gives him the noogie, and he's like, "Nyah, nyah."
That's really funny.
I feel like she's been wanting to just like smack him in the face. She's pacing back and forth behind him. She's so annoyed. She's like,
Right.
"Do it, Ernie!" And yeah, when she says he's gun shy, that's what gets him to do it. Because she figures it out. It seems like she's been
Right.
throwing a lot of
It
stuff
only
at the
works
wall.
for like a second though, because then he dials and then he's like, "Don't make me do it."
Yeah.
Have we set the buy yet?
Trying to. Ernie's a wee bit gun shy.
Gun shy? Only now it's as bold as can be. Let me at him.
Is he the one who took a bite out of the donut?
It must have
I
been,
think he
yeah.
did. Ugh,
Not
it's
cool, Ernie.
terrible.
Donut
Donut
crime.
crime.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're all stacked stacked up there anyway. That's a donut crime to begin with. But then it's a double donut crime because Coop puts it back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right back on the pile.
Why? And I think he
guess
puts it on
someone
a different donut than it was
He does.
Oh, God.
That's like a triple dip.
Just throw away the whole top layer.
Right.
Or
You
he's
have
just-
just so many extra all the time. You always have way more.
And you know that this is only one room of donuts. There's guaranteed to be donuts in any other room in this office.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And especially later with all Ernie talking about sweating so much. You're like, that's been like, just imagine the donuts being covered in sweat. But Coop is not bothered. And then we're in the lobby, and Andy enters and says hi to Lucy, and then immediately is approached by Dick, who's dressed like 3 little boys in a trench coat.
Yes.
What is that crazy outfit? It's always funny to
It's
me.
an adult man, right?
Yeah. The old incognito outfit that is like the most conspicuous thing of all time.
I know that there once was a day where men wore trench coats and hats in public as just their outerwear. Even by the early 90s, you dress like that, everyone's gonna watch you.
Hey, look at that guy. He looks
Yeah.
like a spy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's funny. I never thought about how, like, there was a time when
Like a
that
regular
you would
look.
blend in with that outfit
Yeah.
on.
But even then, I think it would have to be like raining out or something. Like you wouldn't wear a trench coat on like a sunny day or
Yeah.
something. I don't like the Dick storyline so much. I
Why
kind
would you?
of he's sort of an obnoxious character, and I just want the baby to be Andy's.
I mean, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why does he even need to know? Who cares? Just
There's
stop volunteering.
So much that has not made
Just
sense
don't-
in all of this.
If you're disturbed by the child, then
Right.
stop taking him to lunch. I mean, he's not your child now.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a mentor, big brother situation.
Mm-hmm.
He still lives at the orphanage, right?
I mean, that is sort of the problem. This is Twin Peaks in like the switching gears mode. No one's storyline is like intersecting. Like it used to be, everyone was trying to figure out what happened to Laura Palmer, and they were all doing it with the means at their disposal. But like now, like everyone's got their own storyline, and like none of them are interesting enough to carry a whole episode.
Yeah.
And the big brother situation, I'm just like, this has to be the worst of like these transition storylines.
It's terrible.
There's some
This
bad ones.
episode basically features the 3 most hated
Right, 'cause
plots.
James and Evelyn.
James and Evelyn, Little Nicky, and Gettysburg.
Oh,
yeah.
God, yeah.
Like,
The real bad
everyone
ones,
hates
yeah.
them. There's nobody that's like, I think it's fine.
Yeah, like, I don't want to jump out of chronology here, but, like, the Gettysburg thing. In The Simpsons, there were writers who got a kick out of using old words, and, like, they channeled it through Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
It's, like, why Mr. Burns subscribes to, like, phrenology and has to, like, revulcanize his tires and fill up with petroleum distate and things like that. It's all funny in that, and I feel like someone caught whiff of that. Like, someone on the Twin Peaks writing staff was like, oh, I like old-timey words in Civil War, and, like, now's the time. Like, we're switching character motivations. We can make Ben Horn, like, a Civil War nut. It has nothing to do with anything, and having just watched, like, 4 episodes in a row yesterday, I'm like, I don't even know where this motivation comes from.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't there last episode, and now it's, like, fully formed and developed in this episode.
He's built like a full-scale model of, I don't know, several battlefields.
Well, because, like, Bobby is talking about how he's, like, Ben Horn's #1 man. Also, Bobby's a dick in this episode.
I'm so mad at Bobby. in this
Like,
one.
Bobby's always, of course, had a rough side, but that's what made him a bad boy, and we all wanted him for it. This one, he's just a dick.
He had a moral
Such
code
a
and
dick.
stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm
yes.
not-
And also, you know, we're always forgiving of Bobby in a way because he's going through some stuff.
He just
And
killed
he just
someone.
killed a guy.
Bobby killed a guy.
Right?
He killed a guy not too long
Pretty
ago.
recently.
It hasn't been a month.
But now he is such a dick to Shelley for no reason. When he and Audrey are like, why do these teenagers care about like business?
I know. I'm just like, I'm gonna help you save the business. Like, who the fuck cares?
Hey, why
care
should
about the
Audrey
business?
care about this?
Oh, poor Audrey. Like, both times that I've been on this pod, I've named Audrey as my MVP, and you can tell that, like, the show is struggling what to do with her at this point. That's, like, the biggest heartbreak for me, because, like, I've loved her so much, and she's got nothing to do in this episode. Like, she's just lost all her motivation all at once.
Yeah. She's just walking up and down the hall outside her dad's office. Like,
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And isn't some of that just like she's not supposed to be around Coop because Laura Flynn Boyle doesn't?
Yeah. Well, they just abandoned that. Like, they had a plan to have them still be flirting and maybe even, like,
They
solving
have
crimes
such
together.
chemistry, right?
Because of her whole budding. Like, that was kind of what they were getting at with her budding
Honestly, like, with the...
detective thing, but...
The Audrey thing,
got the kibosh.
it's not even like so much her age. It's like she's just so romantically inexperienced.
Yeah.
Even if she was some sort of relationship savant and like had like long-term relationships before Coop entered her life, I'd be willing to like hold my nose about their relationship. But at least the show doesn't portray her having actually had like a serious relationship before Coop entered.
I don't think she has.
Yeah, she might be like sexually mature, but it's like you gotta date. You gotta have love in your life first before like settling down. I want Coop and Audrey to like make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what's better on a TV show than
The will
just
they
like
wont
a
they?
flirting thing.
Yeah.
So
They were the Sam and Diane of Twin Peaks.
That would have been good. But Laura Flynn Boyle said no to even that. She was basically... That's what they say. I mean, I hate to blame a woman for this. But well, Kyle was the one that said, we can't have scenes anymore. But then everyone was like, it's because of your girlfriend, isn't it?
Wait, what?
He was dating Laura Flynn Boyle.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
This is a real life writes the plot situation.
Oh, that's...
Oh, right? Think what could have been.
And so she went from Kyle MacLachlan to Jack Nicholson?
Oh, right. I forgot about that. And then, like, David Spade, right?
Oh, no. Really? Oh.
Why would I
All
do that?
downhill for Laura Flynn Boyle after this. Oh, no. I didn't know that they dated. Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not great for the show.
You're right.
I mean, Laura Flynn Boyle, that era that she dated Jack Nicholson was not Jack Nicholson even in his prime.
Why? We don't have time for that. Let's talk about Big Ed at the Double R. We have to.
Don't like Ed.
So an episode or two ago, it's when they're trying to get Nadine in high school and they mention that she's 35. I felt ancient all at once. But there is something about either old people looked older back then.
Yeah.
Or there's something about their style, their choice of clothes that make them look so old. But like, Big Ed cannot be 35. Big Ed cannot be 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like they used to count differently or something.
there's gotta be something like Norma, I could believe she's 35.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, she dresses older, but
Right.
like if she put on a cute dress or something,
yeah.
she would still look 35. Yeah, she's very young looking. She sometimes makes references to how her life is over. And she's
Yeah,
old and
yeah.
it's
Happens
like-
when you get
yeah.
old.
Norma, I could believe it. Even
But Ed has all
Nadine.
wrinkles. Like,
Yeah,
his
Ed
face
is-
haggard.
If he's 2 years younger than me, he must have had some hard living under his belt. Nadine, like, you get rid of the eye patch and maybe give her, like, a modern haircut, and I could see her going for 35. But, yeah, Big Ed, there's a close-up of his face in this scene that, like, really accentuates the crow's feet that he's got. I'm like, no, do not be 2 years younger than me. Like,
I know.
he just looks 50 to me. Like, he looks 50.
He does, yeah.
Super young.
But I mean, I guess the good thing about it is that he only looks like 60 in the return.
Yeah, yes. I don't know, the close-up of, like, Big Ed's face with, like, Norma's face, like, really kind of accentuated. It just looks like Norma is still youthful and in, like, what could be the prime of her life. You know, she's probably just in the tail end of her dirty 30s. Like, don't they say that, like, sex drive for women peaks in the years before menopause?
They say.
Norma can get it in these years.
And she is horny for it.
Yeah.
That is a little motif. A lot of people actually get some action in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like Nadine forcing herself on
That's not
Michael?
what I meant. No, I mean Ed and Norma and Harry and Josie and James get some action.
James
Oh,
does
yeah.
get some
Against the
action.
car.
Yeah.
Catherine, maybe.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Oh, God.
He at least gets motorboated. I don't know. Anyway, the whole thing about Ed is at the Double R because he wants to talk to Norma. So he orders a cup of coffee, slides her a $5 bill, and a note that says, "We need to talk." I like that sign behind about the Double R special. That is such a crazy good deal.
Oh, what is it?
Wait, what was
The
it?
Double R special is double is in quotes, and it's 2 eggs, 2 sausage, 2 bacon, 2 toasts for $2.
Wow.
Oh, sign me up.
I mean, when could you ever...
That's a lot.
Even in 1989,
$2,
that was
yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
It
No.
really makes you wonder how Norma stays in business. I guess This is by people
That's
overpaying for coffee.
The double R special.
Yeah. Then we're at the Johnson home. This scene, I hate this scene for
I hate
Shelley.
it. Why? Bobby's such a dick to her.
It was your turn to feed him, Bobby.
I practice.
Football season is over.
Baseball. Our national pastime.
Fine. You can clean when you get back.
They ain't coming back.
What?
You're looking at Ben Horn's brand new boy. Do the words golden opportunity mean anything to you? This is my big break, Shelley. You don't think I have anything better to do than give Leo Johnson a bubble bath?
What about me, Bobby? Do I not have anything better to do?
Not that I can think of.
He is. He's just being a teenager all of a sudden.
Yeah, for someone in that awful a shirt, he sure is smug.
Right? What the fuck is going on with that shirt? Really bad clothes in this episode. And in general,
Yes.
almost everyone is dressed horribly.
And Denise with her table runner dress.
Even
And
Denise, who usually
Catherine's
looks great.
hideous.
oh, yeah, that like the
Really
tribal like
I get like a southwestern vibe from that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's like how
oh,
everyone in
Santa Fe.
is dressed.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either. And also the
It was-
Mounties wearing one like
yeah, it was like a Santa Fe poncho. Oof.
It seems warm, but it's,
Very, yeah.
at what cost?
Yeah, and then Ben, of course, in his dirty Confederate outfits.
It smells, I'm sure.
Which he must have just had. Like, he couldn't have just gotten that. It is implied that he's got some sort of past being obsessed with the Civil War, but I don't get it. But first, we're talking about Bobby and Shelley. We do hear the Invitation to Left theme song on TV,
I know.
but we
We
don't
haven't
see
seen
any
the
of
show
it.
for a long time.
Come on, Leo. That's a good Leo.
Each day brings a new beginning. And every hour.
I never see it again. And it's a little bit of a bummer. Like, replace every scene of Evelyn and James with Invitation to Love would be good.
And I would say that probably what Invitation to Love is playing is probably very similar. The James Evelyn thing is like the most Days of Our Lives sort of storyline that you could really concoct. Which, I mean, I know that Twin Peaks has taken inspiration from soap
going for
operas,
that
but
bit.
there's something about Evelyn that's just, it's so Red Shoe Diaries.
So bad.
Is it the hair swoop?
The swoopy hair is not good.
I also feel like the early 90s was more obsessed with like skinny blonde women with like no figure. They wanted long blonde hair, no like suggestion of womanhood, and like bony features too. Like she's almost like gaunt in her skinniness. There's something about those sunglasses that they put on her.
They're bad.
They were bad.
They're so enormous and plastic. Like, I don't believe that she would wear a plastic sunglass like that.
Right.
James gives that speech, and I'm like inches away from liking James all of a sudden, and then they kind of like draw it all back. Because he's giving that speech where he's like, it was my life. I didn't like it all the time, but it was mine. And then he's like, then when Laura died, it felt like I was just a part of her life, and it wasn't mine anymore. And I was like, oh, I like this story, how it threw his life into chaos, and he didn't know what it was anymore.
I love the girl who died. Her name was Laura. I thought I knew her, but I didn't. I guess nobody did.
I'm sorry.
My life used to make sense, you know? I didn't like it all the time, but it was mine. And I felt like it belonged to me. And then Laura died. And my life belonged to something else. To Laura.
I don't know, we're just like inches away from like James being like a sympathetic character, and they're like, no, this is too close. We gotta draw it back.
How much I like tried to help. Another girl got murdered. And I just wanted to get on my bike and ride away. Take off, just go as far from Twin Peaks as the thing will take me.
You've got to shut the fuck up, James. It's so true. We just have to get to the end of the scene about Bobby and Shelley. I like their exchange where he's just like, I'm gonna practice. You don't have practice for shit. Like, she calls him out. he's like, I have better things to do, and she's like, don't I have better things to do? And then it's so rude what he says.
So rude. Not that I can see.
I feel like he really deserves that slap.
He does.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he gets it. Ugh, I just hate this whole thing. Okay, Bobby, I understand you're going through a lot right now, but...
Right, but
so
he's not acting like he's going through a lot.
Yeah.
Just acting like a dick.
Too much of a big shot.
And there was something about the way that Shelley looked in that scene, like, after Bobby left. She really had this look on her face of, like, this is my life now.
Yeah.
I am trapped.
Yeah, her scream of frustration is great.
Yeah.
It's some really good acting, and it's like right after she looks at Leah's disgusting face, dripping with goo.
Yeah.
And it's just
She's
like...
got goo on her face,
I know.
Yeah, I'm watching, I'm just like, oh my god. I'd be screaming too if I was in her situation.
It's horrible. And also Bobby's acting like he's got some amazing opportunities. Do the words golden opportunity mean anything to you? It's a golden opportunity to go stand in front of a raving madman.
Right.
Yeah.
To like work at a hotel. What is even
Yeah, he's got a real chip on his shoulder for I can't even tell why. Like, I guess in the previous episode it was implied that like he could blackmail Ben because like he had the tape.
Yeah. Right.
But it's like that doesn't even seem to be in play in this one.
It's not. Basically,
Right.
Ben kind of blows him off about it. He's like,
Yeah.
so what?
Yeah. I don't know, it's odd. I'm not fully understanding Bobby's motivation. Because, yeah, it's just he's never been a dick like that before.
No. It's very out of character.
Yeah, so...
It might just be like, sometimes teenagers just have like weird days.
Yeah.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
He's just being hormonal.
Yeah. He's like, I'm still literally a teenager. I've got to have another growth spurt in life. Leah's fucking gross. There's a beautiful shot of, I think it's North Bend, that it's supposed to imply that it's the 2 hours away where James is. At the Marsh Mansion. He's talking to Big Ed on the phone, asking him to bring whatever money he has left from his savings account, and I love that Ed says it's only $12, and James is like, yeah, whatever's left.
Right.
It's gonna cost more than that to wire that money out there.
He put some cash in an envelope. I would assume that Big Ed
think
padded it a little
that,
bit.
yeah, for sure.
Uncle Ed? Yeah, it's me. Oh, I'm okay. Look, I need a favor. I need you to get all the money out of my savings account. Well, whatever's left. And send it care of me to Wally's. It's this bar out on 96.
$12.
10,
11. This is not gonna help you.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so dumb. He's wearing coveralls that seem to fit him really well.
He was looking good in this episode.
He was kind of cute.
Yeah.
I hate to say it because James is annoying, but his dimple is really popping out.
I mean, James has a lot of flaws, but like looking good, that was never a problem for him. And yeah, the grease monkey look works for him. Yeah.
Does. I wonder if Evelyn has like a closet full of those coveralls in different sizes for whatever man she finds at Wally's. It's just really interesting that it fit him so well. And because he was working on the car, not Malcolm.
Yeah,
it
apparently.
fit Malcolm.
Right, yeah.
Wait, is Malcolm the guy with the bad hairline?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be implied that she's sort of in it against her will, but that woman's just not a good enough actor to pull off all that.
She's really bad. She's really bad.
All the nuance that's maybe required of Evelyn. And he talks about Laura. It is a good speech. Until he goes, another girl got murdered. I just wanted to get on my bike right away.
Yeah, that kind of ruined it.
Yeah. Especially because it implies that he just said that all the time. I want to get on my bike and go. Just the fact that he said it again. This is the shit he says all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get on my bike and go. I just wanted to get on my bike and go. And all the while Evelyn's wearing these conspicuous sunglasses.
It doesn't even like hide the bruise on her face.
No, it's true.
Like you still see that she's been hit.
Right.
Yeah, and then James asks, "Why do you let him hurt you?" Which is such a fun
Great
question.
Why didn't you tell him not to do that?
Why don't you stand up for yourself? You're so weak.
We get a spooky stoplight transition and a really nice close-up of the cafe sign. I like that close-up with the tree with no leaves on it. Because it's March. We're back at the Double R Diner, and Nadine has just saddled up to Mike at the counter. I know.
Good morning, Mike Nelson.
Oh, Lord.
You want to share a soda? How about a nice big piece of cherry pie? 2 forks.
She's really fun in the scene. She's doing her little sexy kitten voice.
Right.
I like how the Nadine storyline has evolved. I don't know why, but like,
Rules, yeah.
I'm for this. Like, I think it's like turned into like the funniest part of the show.
Yeah.
Where's this spin-off? Like, I want to see Nadine in high school as its own show.
Right, just like every period.
Yeah, exactly.
Every episode is a day that she spends in high school going to class.
Yeah.
She might be like the only person who goes to class. Right? Mike's reading the paper with his mouth open, which is really funny. It's an interesting choice by that actor. She's like, I want to share some pie. He gives her a mean speech.
Mrs. Hurley, Nadine, I want my own piece of cherry pie. In fact, I want 2 pieces of cherry pie. By myself.
Okay. Meatloaf.
No, cherry pie and coffee. In fact, I want 16 cups of coffee. I don't want to talk with you. I don't want to walk with you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to know you. Is that clear enough to understand? Or do I need a court order to get my point across?
She's not.
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah.
Mike Nelson, you are the handsomest boy I've ever known. And I would really like it if you and I could go out on a date. I'm sorry. Sometimes I can't help myself.
She just goes for it.
She's got her one eye on the prize.
Yeah. And that prize is Mike Nelson.
He's got that awful, like, early 90s, like, feathery blonde hair that, like, oh, it's disgusting,
And
but
it's like parted in the middle, kind of.
he's not cute. So when Nadine is like, you're the handsomest boy I've ever seen, I'm like, oh, you need to see some more people.
Yeah, she really does.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true about Nadine.
Have you seen Bobby? Have you seen James? Like, both those
Yeah.
better than Mike there.
Totally. Any extra.
Yeah.
But she's got her sights on Mike for some reason. She plants a kiss on him, and it's a long one.
The longo bongo.
Yeah, she apologizes, but it seems like it works. And
Yeah.
we know that it did. And I like the sign behind Mike. You can get a char-broiled bark burger for $3.95.
Char-broiled bark burger?
Sounds really bad.
Yeah, no, it does not
Paying
appetizing.
too much for $3.95.
Yeah, stick with the special. The
Yeah.
double R's.
Yeah.
Breakfast served all day.
Oh, I would
hope
hope
it
so. I don't like when breakfast isn't.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I mean, a place like that.
Is that a deal breaker for you at the Greasy Spoons that you go to?
Yes. That would bother me if I was in a place like that at night and you couldn't, like, get eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You walk in, you're like, do you have eggs? Well, it's like, well, we stopped serving breakfast at 11, but you have the eggs.
Oh, right.
You could presumably crack them and serve them to me.
You would never do that to me. You just complain quietly, turn it up.
I guess I'll just go hungry.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Fine, I don't eat anyway.
I wasn't meant to have a good life.
So Hank notices Norma putting on her coat, and she says she's gonna go run some errands. And Hank's like, it's too early for errands, which is a ridiculous thing to say, but
I feel like he elaborates and like it's still the breakfast ride.
Yeah,
You shouldn't
yeah.
be leaving right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that arc where I was
That's
like, how's it
true.
too early for errands? Oh, I see. Too early to leave the day.
I have to run some errands.
It's a little early for errands, isn't it? We still got most of the breakfast crowd.
Just you and a kitchen full of scrambled eggs. I'll be right back. Just think of it as a test, Hank.
But he does not care about the diner because he follows
Yeah, he
her
also
immediately.
leaves.
I hope he took those 3 plates to the table before he left and didn't just like throw them in the garbage or something, but who knows with him. He probably took a bite out of it. And she says, just think of it as a test. I do really like the way the scene is shot through the stuff on the island.
Yeah, no, it was nice.
Yeah.
That's a cool Todd Holland move. I always want to call him Tom Holland, and it's not Tom Holland.
Because there is a different director, Todd Holland, or maybe it's Tom Holland, who directed, like, the Child's Play movie.
Oh, I'm thinking of something.
Oh, no,
Todd Solondz.
who did
That's
Happiness? No.
It is Tom Holland.
So it's Tom Holland, but just not the actor Tom
Not
Holland.
young Tom Holland.
Yeah, so he did Fright Night, Child's Play,
yeah.
Thinner.
Oh,
Ooh.
gosh.
It's just a common name, I guess. Holland. Anyway, let's see, where are we? We are...
At the R&R, looking
Yes.
through the island.
Yeah, I do like Norma's sort of pissed off face as she's leaving. 'Cause
Yeah.
Hank is just
She's
always
like,
on her job. I know, she is. Then we're at the Blue Pine Lodge, where Harry has come to see Josie, and she still doesn't have her hair gel back.
I think Catherine took her hair product.
She's wearing the cutest outfit in this episode, it seems like.
Josie kind of looks cute as the maid. I hate to say it.
I think she knows it, too, because in the previous episode, Catherine's like, put on your hat, and Josie's like, I will. Now I'm even cuter.
But, like, she could do, like, the sexy maid routine really well. Like,
but she doesn't want to. She's not feeling that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't blame her. It is sort of under duress that she's doing all this, but I know that she's, like, tangentially related to Piper Laurie, like, disappearing, but is it, like, blackmail worthy? Like, does What's-Her-Face have so much leverage over Josie that she has to, like, be in indentured servitude in perpetuity?
It wouldn't seem like it.
Yeah,
But I also feel like Josie feels like her former boss, Thomas Eckert, is coming to look for her.
Okay.
And for some reason, she feels safer at the Blue Pine Lodge than...
Right, that's the part that's confusing. That it seems like
I'm not sure why she's
afraid of Eckert. Unless it's like, is she trying to protect Harry from that?
She says she is, but it's hard to trust her.
Is it a storyline that, like, maybe doesn't get resolved?
We don't really ever find out.
Okay.
Exactly. And it kind of peters out.
I feel like the Eckerd-Packard thing, like, in the last episode of season 2, isn't there, like, an explosion or something?
She goes to kill Eckert, but then that's when Harry comes at the hotel, and then she dies of fright or whatever.
Oh. That old one, yeah.
And then the Eckert thing is, like, he finds out Andrew's still alive, and he sends the box, and then there's a couple episodes where they're, like, trying to get into this puzzle box, and then it's got a safe deposit key in it.
Okay, yes.
And that's when Andrew and Pete go to the bank, and that's where Audrey's at the bank separately for, like, a stop Ghostwood thing.
Okay, yeah.
And then in the safe deposit box is a bomb that's trying to go off when they open it.
Okay,
and it's like Eckert's last fuck you.
Boy, it was really sweeps over there at Twin Peaks, wasn't it?
It's
like...
really stupid. I mean, obviously, especially because
it's wreck Audrey.
And kill Pete.
Oh, right, yeah.
All right, yeah. Josie, Harry. I don't know.
We're just kind of in the middle of a really stupid plot point. But Josie will get taken care of soon enough.
Harry is just like such a chump for Josie.
He really is.
He's down bad.
Let me take care of you.
No.
Please.
Listen, I'm safe here. And when I'm here, you're safe too.
No.
Stop. Look at me. I'm Catherine's maid. I'm no good for you.
You are good for me.
I mean, she is gorgeous. But yeah, he is a chump. Big time. He does not have any idea.
Well,
that's why he falls apart. He fucking falls apart.
It's like Michael Parks says in Kill Bill Volume 2, being a fool for a woman like that is always the right thing to do. That's sort of what Harry and Josie's relationship is, a little bit.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
That just kind of explains it a little bit. Then we're at the Great Northern, where Sam, that's Samantha, comes running out of Ben's office, but for some reason our closed captioning called her Lucille. I don't know why. She's holding a drum, a bottle of ketchup, some papers. She's got like a napkin tied around her head, like she was pretending.
Ketchup
to
stain
be,
on it.
like she was playing a
More stuff on faces.
She's been through something.
Yeah.
She looks very
not wanna talk
traumatized.
about it.
Audrey intercepts her and goes in to check on her dad, and that's when she finds out that there's a war between the states. And that her dad has an accent now.
Right.
What are you doing?
There's a war going on, darling.
A war.
A war between the states.
Daddy, I think you need some help.
No, I'm all right, darling. I just need a little time. This is a very important day.
Yes, Daddy, this is a very important day. We're going to save the business. You and I.
No.
Yes, Daddy.
You are standing on General Stewart.
When does Audrey even care?
I don't know.
I mean,
She's
just like
we
a
gotta
couple
save the
days
business.
ago, she's been rescued from the kidnapping heroin thing where she found out all this terrible stuff about her dad. I mean, why does she care that he thinks he's in the Civil War?
That's a good point, especially because
I mean,
it's like
she's
the
like,
hotel is
yeah,
still doing
that feels
business.
right.
They have enough employees.
Also, Audrey will be fine. She's a survivor. Like, if she, yeah, I don't know. It's just if she had to like leave her family, like she'd figure out a way. Yeah,
that's what she should have done.
But
Should've gotten on that plane.
She should
with
have gotten on the
Jack.
plane, John Justice Wheeler, and never come back.
the first time I watched Twin Peaks all the way through, I had such a bad taste in my mouth for like the Civil War plot that they gave Ben. I mean, I had a bad taste about a lot of things in like the latter half of season 2. Like my initial memory was like all the Windom Earle stuff just like went on way too long. There was a Civil War thing and James not even being in Twin Peaks. And then when I rewatched the show, you know, years and years ago, I went in like a little softer on the second half of season 2. I'm like, oh, it's still good. It's just, it doesn't quite have like the same gravitational pull that like the Laura Palmer story had. And so I was like, it's still well made, but it's not as engrossing as that storyline. But the Civil War storyline is still bad. Even being forgiving of other bad storylines is just like, this one is bad.
There's just nothing for it.
It doesn't push the plot forward. It's just like, we gotta eat up time with Ben Horne for 6 episodes. We gotta give him some sort of mental impairment. They're probably trying to do the same thing they did with Nadine, where he has some sort of like Nivea aphasia. And like with Nadine it works, and with Ben it just does not.
Yeah. I guess that is, they're trying to draw parallels between different ways of losing your mind.
Yeah.
Why, at the very least, does he have to be fighting for the Confederacy? You know? You just think he's fighting for the North. Like, that's just
He doesn't know how the war ends.
Look that out.
I know. I mean, is it just because he is such an irredeemable person that they're like...
He would be fighting for
yeah, they're just like, that's on brand for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
It sucks, though.
But yeah, no. I'm definitely dreading more of the Civil War storyline.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better. It's just tedious. Audrey calls Jerry to come home ASAP. And then we're at the Hurley home, where Norma arrives to speak with Ed.
You first.
He's always doing this shit. He's always like, we need to talk.
I do not like
You
this.
go first.
You first. I do not like
I will not.
That.
I will eventually
do
never say
not
the thing I
like
say.
You first.
Not because you're the one who said we need to talk.
Right. And then the stuff that she said, it's like...
You're the last thing I think of when I go to sleep at night. And you're the first thought on my mind when I get up in the morning. I know this world is going to pieces. And it feels like it's designed to keep us apart. But we love each other, Ed. I want to be with you. I want to be with you no matter what happens.
What if he was going to say the opposite? You know what I mean? Like, what if he was going to say, like, we need to talk because we got to be done because my wife lost her mind.
Your turn.
Later.
And it's like, oh, I'm so glad I went first with my I want to be with you no matter what.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I did not go first. No.
Nah.
Lesson learned, don't go first.
Don't go
If you're in a
first.
funny thing with someone, you're not sure, don't go first.
I think that's good advice. Try not to go first. God, I hate it. I hate it, and then I especially hate that he doesn't ever say what he wants to say.
Yeah.
What do we think he wants to say?
Good.
Like, do we think he wants to say, like, oh, we can't do this because, yeah, my wife's crazy? But, like, Nadine's, like, she's out there.
She's vibing.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Well, this is going to a place where he's going to say, I'm going to leave Nadine, and then they get all the way to the point where he's going to, and then she, like, snaps out of her delusion and becomes possessive of him again, and then he changes his mind. And that's kind of where they leave it for 25 years.
Right. That's why I can't believe there's people that are, like, fans of Ed through that kind of arc. You know,
That's
like,
the worst. I can't believe I didn't
I was
see it
gonna
as
leave,
hard.
but then I changed
hard
my
as-
mind. Like, I was gonna leave when my wife was in the depths of some mental breakdown. Now that she's not, I guess I'm staying. Like, great.
It was really
You know?
just like, I was gonna leave when she didn't care anymore.
Right.
He was already noticing that she didn't care anymore. She had stopped being so possessive. She was doing her own thing at school and on the wrestling team and what have you. And so that's what made him feel like happy about everything. The last time she saw him at the coffee shop, he's just like, oh, I don't know, my life sucks. Right. And it was really just like Nadine kind of getting her own life that made him feel optimistic about the future with Norma. Mm-hmm. But all it takes is for Nadine to be like, no, I'm going to make it a little bit hard. He's like, never mind.
Right.
He doesn't want to do anything if it's going to be a little bit hard. Back at the sheriff's station. We're in Harry's office, and Hawk is once again saddled with the worst job.
Yes, Hawk has the worst.
Oh, trying to wire up Ernie.
Ouch! Do you mind a chest there, will you? You're sweating like a pig, Mr. Niles.
Oh, thanks a lot. Huh? That's nervous perspiration, man. Hyperhidrosis. A childhood condition.
Who is sweating like a pig, says Hawk. Which I feel like Hawk is usually pretty genteel about the way he talks to people, so it must just be so gross. And Ernie must be not being very nice.
Maybe that's part of why we saw the sprinkler dripping. Like, it was a little foreshadowing.
Of the sweat?
Yeah, well, because isn't what happens, like, Ernie's sweat makes the wire start sparking, and that's how they know he's wired, right?
Yeah.
So the sprinkler that went off from upstairs, I don't know. I feel like there's something there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Throw it all out there. I like it. They're miking him up, and he says he has a condition called hyperhidrosis, which is a real condition. And he's also having flashbacks to Korea, apparently.
Oh, right, yeah.
Korea, remember that, do you? I was leading battalion up towards the 49th parallel. We were just a bunch of fresh-faced kids. I didn't know what kind of hell we were stepping into.
Ernie, I want you to focus on the here and now.
Rough day for Ernie.
Which I'm not sure why, like, being mic'd up would make you have flashbacks to Korea, but...
Maybe just being in a stressful situation where you might get killed.
Yeah, Ernie doesn't deal with stress super well. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know how I deal in that situation, but, like, Ernie's not, like, internalizing this. Everything's coming out.
Norma and her mom, that's one way the apple did not fall far from the trees. They have trash tasting guys.
That's
what
a
does
very
Norma's
good
mom
point.
see in Ernie? Why are they married?
Great question. And it was kind of like a whirlwind romance, too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, Norma's mom sucks, so.
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel like
she does suck.
Ernie is too good for her, which is saying a lot. Wow. Yes. He's a CPA. He's not meant to be doing this. I mean, Jean Renault is bad news. He will murder you.
Right.
Yeah.
They go over the plan.
I take Denise up to Dead Dog Farm. I introduce her to Renault. Right. I take Renault through the buy, complete the transaction, and get the hell out of there, huh?
Good. Harry, that's when you come in. By golly, I sure wish I could join you fellas, but I've temporarily lost my enforcement franchise.
Gosh, I sure wish I could be coming with you guys.
Little Boy Scout moment.
Well, I've given that some thought. Consider yourself deputized.
Harry deputizes him on the spot, and Coop is like, I hope I can live up to this.
How does he say that with a straight face?
Bureau's loss is my gain.
I hope I can live up to this.
Oh, you know that Coop is so earnest, though.
He means that for real.
The bar is not high. Like, Twin Peaks Police Department.
Yeah, if Andy can do it, like...
Coop's badge number is 13. That seems significant. Yeah. Deputy number 13. And then Ernie says, can I ask you a question? And then the question is, don't make me do this.
Not a question.
And then Denise comes in disguised as a man. And this is so fun. The body language here.
Yeah.
Where's Denise?
Haven't seen her.
You can call me Dennis. Oh, I don't know, somehow it seemed more appropriate.
Such feminine mannerisms.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
And also I feel like she seems kind of uncomfortable in the suit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I really love. And because we know David Duchovny can look very comfortable in a suit. Professionally. So it's a really good bit of physical performance. Like, he's really embodying Denise. I love it. And also he has his hair slicked back, like Coop, kind of. Yeah. And then we're at the Dorrit Home for Boys, which is a Dickensian reference.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Little Dorrit.
Yeah.
Oh.
About a girl who grows up as the daughter of a man in a London debtor's prison.
That does sound Dickensian.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that was really padded for the serial publication. It's just a really long, needlessly long novel. There's some kind of terrifying toy on top of the bookshelf in this office. Dick and Andy are sneaking in and rifling through the cabinets. They find N.
Yes. Netherby. Needleman. Nicholas Needleman, our little Nicky.
This is one of those, like, cringy, just, like, yeah, I'm watching, I'm like, we gotta hurry this one up. Dick is the worst person under pressure.
I know we're a little early, eh? It's just that we're so darn eager to see him. Can we see him? Where is Donnie?
Little Donnie is dead. Hey, dead tired, I mean. I'm afraid little Donnie, he isn't feeling up to snuff.
Well, he was in perfect health only yesterday.
Dick, just a minute.
I do feel like that's genuinely funny.
When he's like, he's dead?
Yeah. Like, just as someone who, like, cannot think on their feet. Like, oh, he's dead. And I expect no follow-up questions.
Yeah, the child you were looking for, dead.
Right.
Dead.
We'll just be on our way.
And then they really underreact to it, too. They kind of just look at each other quizzically, like...
Oh.
Not like, oh my god.
They react like someone outbid them for a house or something. Oh.
Could you not have called us?
We filled out all that paperwork.
Also, this is a couple that looks like brother and sister, too. Not like a romantic couple, I don't know. They are the Brustons. And then also, Dick really misses an opportunity to just get the fuck out of there, because he could be like, I will go get Donnie for you.
Yeah.
And also, like, there's no reason that they have to pull off any ruse with these people who don't work there or anything, you know? And, like, Andy's in a cop uniform, you know what I mean?
I was going to say,
like,
Dick is looking a touch conspicuous in his trench coat and hat.
I feel like if they did not explain themselves, because the Brustons are like, we're early. Okay, yeah.
Let me go get your adoption agent or something.
We're just picking up some stuff.
Yeah, there's 100 ways out of that situation.
It's liberating when you realize you don't have to explain yourself to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is.
That sounds like therapist wisdom.
I mean, you have said that to me before, but I am not even in therapy. This is just me.
Well,
I don't explain myself.
Yeah, because at your brunch, you're like, oh, you don't have to feel just one way about something. And I was like, that's like a therapist thing. So.
No, but that was just me. It was just me not feeling just one way about it. So,
Mr. Collins.
You should write a book.
Gosh, I'd get sued for it.
Okay, at the Hurley home, Donna comes looking for James, and Ed gives her the money to bring to him.
All $13 of it.
No, he padded it, I'm sure.
Yeah. He couldn't make change for a 20.
He's like, do I really have to go all the way to the bank and empty out this account for James? I was just here. Like,
You can just have the extra.
Right,
yeah.
like, totally. That'd be so embarrassing and needless.
Also, when did he have time to do that?
Right.
He did not.
He did not, you're right. And as soon as Donna leaves, then Norma comes popping around the corner, and she sneaks out. And then Hank is behind him.
Oh, Ed. The things we do for love.
That was a crowded living room.
It was. The house is so small, and I feel like Hank was there the whole time.
Does feel that way.
Because he was waiting for that moment, and then also because earlier when they kiss, the camera pans down to the floor.
Yeah, there's a really weird shot
way.
of like her ugly shoes and
Oh yeah, beige pumps. Ugh, yeah.
Wow.
They were not
they
good.
were ugly.
Man, cat noise.
I think she's so pretty, and her feet
Yeah.
are better. Especially wearing heels at the diner.
Right. That's like one thing if they were like sensible ugly flats or something. I mean, I only wear flats, but you know, they're very ugly and also they have a heel. Like, you go on her feet all day. I don't know. I can't walk in heels.
Maybe she just put them on for her rendezvous. I hope.
But she still has like the waitress uniform.
That's part of the fantasy.
The beige pumps on to dress it up. Yeah. Like the worst part of that outfit.
I know.
Maybe. I don't know.
They really
But
are.
it's
They
a
are.
weird
It would be
shot.
hotter with just no shoes at all. The diner outfit is cute.
Yeah, it is cute.
But anyways, Hank is there to beat the shit out of Ed.
Worse. It's such a Hank thing to do, like deliver some stupid line. Like it's such a big.
Especially when he was like,
"Oh, the things we do for love." Huh?
Norma, you can't leave during breakfast rush. I'm gonna leave during breakfast rush and wait there the whole time.
Wait it out, yeah.
There was one other waitress there.
How did he get in there?
I don't know.
I don't like it.
It's gross. But fortunately, Nadine comes home just in time to throw him.
Nadine's like, look out!
Wait, did she have like a bowling ball in that bag or something?
I
Like,
was trying to figure out what was in there. Babe, when she hits him, it makes it sound like there's something really hard and it like breaks.
yeah, it
just
just.
hit him so.
It looks like a bowling ball bag. I mean, it's probably just like pom-poms or something in there, but like...
Well, she's on the wrestling team.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where she keeps her singlet?
Yeah.
Pair of shoes with
Yeah.
a water bottle.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Boy, Nadine does not mess around. She was there for Big Ed when he needed it.
Eddie. Can you hear me?
She loves to get handsy if she can. She has an excuse to.
She's so physical.
She does her move of spinning him around in a circle.
Her signature move.
Yeah, like we're throwing him through her ceramic
I
menagerie.
don't like that. Wrecking your own house.
I know, those are her
Just throw him against the
collection.
wall. I know.
That's how much she cares about Big Ed.
Yeah.
Because she obviously really lovingly curated that.
But she might not know she curated that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
she might think
she
that's
thinks
like
it's
her
her
mom's
parents or
collection or something.
Well,
Like,
she's going to be sad later.
yeah.
Then we're at the Great Northern in Ben's office. Ugh.
Why are we here?
Bobby's placating Ben, yada yada yada, General Meade, Robert E. Lee. This is a reference to a real battle. Who the fuck
yada,
cares?
yada.
I was going to say, this is like how my history teacher actually taught the Civil War.
That's how it should be taught.
Yeah. Bang, bang, boom, one country.
Yeah, the Ken Burns documentary. We don't need anything else said on the
If
topic.
you want to do additional research, knock yourself out. Bobby gets out of there by saying he's got to go talk to President Lincoln.
Tell you what, Mr. Horn. I'm gonna go and talk to President Lincoln first, okay? So you just wait right here and I'll get back to you on this whole surrender thing. Okay, gotta go.
It was like he couldn't
Like,
think
I
of
remember,
another
right.
big name from this time.
That really works, though. Name dropping, the biggest guy. Like, I can
Yeah.
get out of there. He takes his sword with him, which I think is wise.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave Ben alone with a sword.
And then I do like his line, your old man just bought a condo in Flip City.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The bad news is that your old man just bought a condo in Flip City. The good news is that he's about to win the Civil War.
That's such a Bobby thing to say.
Yeah. I feel like he was
That's
thinking
the
it the whole
weirdest
time he was in
expression.
there, and he was like, this is the first thing I'm going to say to Audrey when I get in.
It's that hard-boiled, like, 50s noir language.
Yeah.
Audrey's in the hallway. She says, I think Daddy needs an injection, which I don't really understand.
It's pretty weird, yeah.
I think Daddy needs an injection. God, we gotta help him.
There's a lot of different things you can inject. That's Doc Hayward's thing. He loves to just
Oh, he does.
show up and inject people with things. So maybe that's...
Oh, yeah, because it was the episode where they're going to, like, lay Leland to rest, and he's, like, about to inject Sarah Palmer with something, and she's like, no, I need to be there. Like, all of me needs to be there. And I was like, he was just going to shoot her up with something?
He just goes around town shooting people up with stuff.
Throw something through this.
That man needs a fucking hobby.
Or a job.
He's like the only doctor in town, though.
I don't like that Bobby's calling Audrey baby and being all flirty, and I do like that Audrey's like, don't call me baby.
Don't worry, baby. I was on the case.
Don't call me baby.
Is that part of why he's being such a jerk to Shelley? Is now he's kind of into Audrey?
I think he is a little into Audrey, but just because he's into Audrey's whole, like, I don't have a drooling baby man at home vibe.
Well, and she's also fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just definitely feeling like, I'm 18 years old today, I want to not be in a too serious relationship right now.
Yeah, Shelley's got some baggage.
Yeah. He got her into it, though, is the thing, but he realizes that later.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
right now he's being shitty. Then Catherine sneaks in wearing that
Hideous coat.
hideous coat.
Bringing Santa Fe realness to Twin Peaks.
Oh my god. She really is.
Yeah, I mean, Ben takes the words out of my mouth there when he says he can't be serious. Like, I
know.
have many questions, Catherine.
I did come here to gloat.
You double-crossed me. You tried to kill me. I wanted to bury you so deeply that future generations would unearth and exhibit your remains. Slimy rat bastard Americanus. Do not feed. Despite everything I know about you, I find myself here with you, wanting you. You can't be serious.
For real.
Why?
He's like,
She's
this?
for real, she's still into bed.
She came there to gloat, but he's too hot for her to
He's too
keep her hands
attractive.
off, apparently. Even though he's practically got stink lines coming off.
I know. Well, that, even like before Bobby leaves, like he's like really close talking to Bobby, and Bobby's like kind of turning away from him.
Do you think Richard Beamer was being method that day?
Oh.
Well, no, I
Dana
think Bobby
Ashford
was
is just
yeah,
an
I think he
amazing
was
actor.
acting it.
Yeah, I do like her lines, slimy rat, bastard, Americanas.
Mhm.
That's kind of funny.
And she says, "You make my body hum." I feel like they always have the weirdest sex talk. Those two.
Also, like, even if he's normally good in bed, he's not going to be good in bed right now. Like, sometimes people are just not at their peak.
He's not in good working order right now. No. Yeah, there's some crazy that translates really well into sex, but Civil War reenactment crazy's not.
Yeah, right. That's not the role play that people want to do.
Yeah, you be General Meade. Yeah.
The Abe Lincoln. Can't think of anybody else.
And then back to back, we're at the Marsh Mansion.
Gosh.
James blindfolded Evelyn, and he's leading her to
That
the
jacket.
Oh my
that
God,
that
another
fur. And she had like knee-high pleather boots on, too.
It's such a weird shape.
It had layers to it.
It's like layered somehow.
Yeah.
It's tiered.
Yes.
It was kind of like Catherine's coat in that. It had like the cape on top of the jacket kind of thing. That's a thing. That's like a look on some jackets that I do not like.
It really reeks of like early 90s fashion. Like there's a stupid bit in Ghostbusters 2 where like a fur jacket comes to life and like her jacket kind of like has that vibe to it.
Yeah, and then underneath she has like a blazer dress and then like a slip under. I don't know. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
It's
there's
wild look.
there's a lot wrong with that one.
And then the terrible scarf. There are just some hideous scarves in this show.
And this was the scene with the champagne continuity problems, right?
Yeah, the whole bottle just disappears.
Yeah.
And then he dumps it out.
Why does he do that?
Just
put them down.
Anywhere.
It puts them on the seat. Like it looks so clean.
Or show how ravenous you are by just like drinking it all. Like and then
Why'd you even pour it, right?
Yeah. I get very upset when people waste champagne and things. I don't know. I don't like it. Like, that's good drinking champagne. And I bet it's really expensive, too, because Evelyn's got it.
yeah, she's loaded.
That's not Andre right there. So that's upsetting. And then he pushes her up against the car in a really weird way.
Yeah.
There are these
Awkward
really
way.
nice leather seats behind them. And
Right.
he's like, that's where the glasses, the
Yeah,
dirty
that's
glasses
where the
go.
glasses are.
And then the camera pulls out to reveal Malcolm.
Yes, gross.
He is so gross. And his gross hair.
There is something really wrong with that hair. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's a 5 head for one thing.
Yeah.
And his
But
hair is really stringy.
It's really stringy and it's like, I don't know.
It has like trajectory.
Yeah.
It's like short in the middle and kind of swirls
It-
around, and then the
It's got like bird claws or something.
It's bad hair, yeah. He's really nasty. Then we're at the Dead Dog Farm, where the deal is underway.
Oh, yeah.
Hawk and Harry and Coop are surveilling from a distance as Denise and Ernie try to finish the transaction with Renault and that dirty-ass Mountie.
You know, I love Michael Park's accent work. Like, he does the French one really well, and someone who watches Kill Bill, like, once a year. In part 1, he's the sheriff who gets, like, spit on by Uma Thurman.
Oh, yeah.
And then in part 2, he's, like, the pimp that, like, tells Uma Thurman, like, where to find Bill. And, like, his accent work is just top-notch. Like, it's not a remotely realistic French accent. He gets, like, the overly romantic sort of French accent stereotype. Like, he does it just right. Like, I don't know. It's very movie. Like, it just seems like it's very actorly, but it works for, like, stage and screen. Michael Park's, his accent work is second to none.
I feel like it's not too bad for Quebecois. actually.
Is that what he's
Weird for
supposed to be?
French, yeah.
Quebecois, yeah?
I think it's pretty good for that.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound quite French. It's like a weird Canadian.
He's still romantic about it, though. Like,
Yeah.
he's working it.
This is his absolute best scene, and maybe it's because he knew it was his last.
Yeah.
But yeah, he really kills this whole speech about his weird theory about Coop.
Before you came here, Twin Peaks was a simple place. My brothers lived up to the teenagers and the truck drivers. One-eyed Jack welcomed the businessmen and the tourists. Quiet people lived a quiet life. Then, a pretty girl died. And you arrived, and everything changed. My brother Bernardo shot and left to die in the woods. A grieving father smothered my remaining brother with the pillow. Kidnapping, death. Suddenly, the quiet people, they're quiet no more. Suddenly, the simple dream become the nightmare. So, if you die, maybe you will be the last to die. Maybe you brought the nightmare with you. And maybe the nightmare will die with you.
And then you almost believe it. I might believe it a little bit. Having seen The Return. I mean, obviously the first time you watch it, you're like, no, Coop is all good. But shit really does get pretty bad with Coop involved.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I feel like the logic flaw is that Coop got involved because Laura was raped and murdered by her dad.
Yeah,
possessed by
and then
his
I've been
spirit.
going on,
that
people
was
die all the
pretty
time.
cute.
You're right.
Like,
this wasn't
like
an
he's
idyllic
like,
town before
this
Coop
pretty
was
girl died, and then Coop got, he kind of like hand waves what happened to Laura a little
Yeah.
bit. Everything
That's
was
true.
great in this simple town, and you showed up for some reason, I forget why, and now.
Suddenly a simple dream become a nightmare. I like that the camera's on Coop's face the whole time he's doing his speech too. So you're just listening to his voice.
He's got that cut on his face.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
didn't
we
have
didn't see him
yeah.
get it.
So he's been roughed up a little bit in their
That
care.
looks like a pistol whip wound to me.
Yeah.
Which is rough.
But yeah, Michael Park's a good character actor. They give him a good speech. Kyle MacLachlan's acting the shit out of like his no lines, but he's looking terrified.
He's so good at that.
Yeah.
He's a great reaction shot guy.
So yeah, good scene altogether.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's even before Denise shows up. And
Did
I
you
just
order food?
fucking love this. I love this whole thing, especially because we don't even see it happen. But like, you have to imagine how it went down. Harry gets an idea. Denise has to drive to the Double R. Maybe Andy brought it or something.
Got like the dress
But-
and the food in the tray.
Yeah, and makeup.
Right.
Like, all
Denise had that, I'm sure.
Just
Denise
had it on her.
stuff in there, yeah.
She's like, I can't wait to get out of this suit and put my makeup on. Yeah, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, like, prepare a tray of food, get a uniform that fits Denise.
A garter that'll hold a pistol.
Well, she definitely had that. She probably had to go back to the Great Northern though in her room to get that.
I do kind of wonder, I was like, how are like Renault and the Mountie or whatever, how are they buying this for 1 second? Like someone comes in with food.
I have no suspicion.
She starts lifting up her skirt and they're just like, whoa! Like, do they really?
It really just distracted them so
Yeah.
much. They're like,
I was
whoa, legs!
They got this.
She's got legs!
They got this scheme straight out of like a Looney Tune, but
Oh my god, it's totally true.
Like this is just a thing cops do. It's like if you've had someone hostage for a while, they bring you some food. They say, "Oh, we must be hungry."
We thought you might be hungry.
Yeah. Hey, it's me, waitress from the Double R. Cops would just totally send me in here. Like, don't worry.
here's a quick peek at my garters. A little gam action for y'all.
It's so implausible, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It's pretty badass, too. Yeah.
And it's honestly one of the things that I've always kind of remembered about the show is the fact that like Denise comes up, has the gun in there, and how it like works really seamlessly. Coop grabs the gun, and it was overall a good scheme. But like when I watch it now, like with like a realistic lens, I was like, it's a little Looney Tunes.
Yes.
Like
It seems very unlikely that that's how it would have gone down.
they just welcome this woman in.
No question.
No questions asked. come on in.
Especially because even Renault says it's just a girl. Oh, no worries, it's just
This
a girl.
6'5" woman with the shoulders of a linebacker.
But I do like that it's another woman to the rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's her gun is a Walther PPK, too.
Oh, okay.
James Bond's gun.
Mm-hmm.
Without Albert, I would not know the significance of a Walther PPK, but I think that's cool. It's fun that she carries that, too. So I wonder how many FBI agents have that gun. They're like, it's James Bond's gun, did you know? Yes, we know. And then there's just some funny, quick lines thrown around.
Good thinking, Denise. It was just my legs. Thank Sheriff Truman. It was his idea.
Harry S. Truman. Well, sometimes you gotta improvise.
Coop says that the whole plot was quick thinking, which I just think is like a ridiculous thing to say about that, because obviously it was not quick.
Right.
There was nothing quick about that plot.
No, it took all day. Like, it was daylight when yeah.
And then Denise says it was just my legs, which is such a funny thing to say. What do you mean?
She just wants some attention on her legs, you know.
They're very
She
nice.
really likes them.
They're some good legs. I really love the garters. And then she gives Harry the credit, which it's nice of her to do that. Because, like, maybe he had that idea, but I can't imagine he saw it all the way through.
Yeah.
There had to be some brainstorming and input from Denise.
Yeah, Denise was the one with, like, the moxie to actually pull it off.
Right. Like, she's like, oh, I have the perfect stockings for this. Like, she knows about all that stuff. But the way Cooper says Harry S. Truman is like, they're gonna fuck now, it seems like.
Well, I feel
Harry,
like what it is, it's like that Harry has come around on Denise, you know. I feel like that's what all of that was about. Like, it was Harry's idea that he was...
Was Harry not pro Denise earlier?
Remember, he wouldn't even shake her hand.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Hot.
That
But
was hot.
he was still,
That was
he was not cool.
He was not cool about it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. I remember...
He made a snotty comment about the Great Northern, like, they'll be surprised, too.
Yeah. Because, yeah, Coop is fine with it after, like, a couple sentences. Yeah. And, yeah, I don't know. It feels like in this one, like, no one's having a problem with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's great. I thought he was just saying, like, Harry had an idea.
I think it was that Harry's idea involved Denise. And Denise being womanly. You know, like that,
all right.
That's how I took that.
Yeah, everyone's cool with Denise. That's great. They should be. She rocks.
She saved the day.
Yeah.
She's going places. I want to see what she's up to in 25 years.
I know. At the Johnson house, Shelley's asleep on the couch. She was reading Au Naturel magazine. What is that about? And listening to her favorite rock and roll song.
Yeah.
The power starts going on and off, and Leo's doing some fuckery.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clown toy in his bed, so he loves clowns. He has like a clown doll. He's just into the clown motif.
There's a clown picture on the wall.
Like... He's missing, and apparently he's gone to put on his birthday hat and eat some cake, I think.
Or dive his face into the cake.
His face is still messy from
from breakfast.
Or from the last time she fed him. Like, I don't think she's cleaning up his face.
His face looked messier than earlier in the day.
Right. We only saw it after breakfast, so then there was lunch and dinner.
And dessert by the looks of things.
Well, I thought he did that because he was trying to tell Shelley that he remembered what they did to him. That's why I think this moment's very scary.
It's pretty scary. No, I'm not saying that it's not scary.
Because he put the party hat on. Like,
It's
he
really
was not...
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I feel like that's significant. He's not saying thanks for the birthday party.
Oh, no.
It's so scary, Shelley. Oh.
Yeah, very scary.
Ugh, so mad at Bobby right now.
Ugh.
And then we cut to the police station where the power's out, and Lucy's talking about the craziness that happened. She heard an explosion. It's some elaborate Windom Earle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just fucking with the power and getting her out and getting people out so that he can place the body of the drifter in Harry's office.
How does he do that by himself? That must
I was definitely thinking, I was like, he's got to rig the power and like sneak in a dead body and then like prop it up just right and then set up a chessboard. Like,
that way, yeah.
It's just a lot of work.
A lot of work.
He loves a lot of work.
He does love a lot of work.
And he must be curiously strong because he's able to later on,
like a dead body,
carry Ted Raimi inside of a giant
yes,
paper mache sculpture. Yeah.
I mean, dead weight.
Yeah.
Because it's heavier.
He's got a lot of pulleys and...
Yeah, I don't know how he did this.
What did they call it? Hand trucks. He's got that sort of stuff. I don't know.
But yeah, it's just an awfully elaborate plot.
Yeah.
It
goes to a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Windom Earle is extra. He's known to be extra.
I do not.
The man he killed, we will find out several episodes from now, is a drifter named Eric Powell.
Ooh. Oh, I know
Shows
someone named
him-
Eric Powell.
Oh,
No, wait,
yeah.
Eric. Wait, is it Powell or Howell? Because I got it wrong once and now I can't. No, it's Howell. Sorry.
Is it Holland or Howell? No.
Eric Howell.
Okay. Well, Eric Powell was chosen because Caroline's maiden name was Powell.
Ooh.
Caroline?
Caroline is Windom Earle's wife, who Coop had an affair with, and Windom Earle murdered.
That's too complicated.
It's very
That's
complicated.
way too complicated.
It's
Wait,
a lot
so
of baggage.
Windom Earle went and found
A drifter?
who had the same last name.
Yeah.
God,
I told you he's extra.
Oh my God,
He's just like interviewing extras. What's your name? And then the most interesting thing about this scene is that Eric Powell is played by Craig McLachlan, who is indeed related to Kyle McLachlan, they're brothers.
Oh, okay.
And Craig McLachlan was a PA.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice. He PA'd on Fire Walk With Me and episodes 4, 5, and 6 of season 1.
Oh, solid episodes.
Yeah. Fire Walk With Me. Oh my God.
Yeah, I finally understood your Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah.
Her name is Lil. She's my mother's sister's girl.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, for 40 seconds in a 2.5-hour movie.
She's so mean.
I remember, yeah.
The chess move is pawn takes pawn, and apparently this would be an appropriate move to make at this point in time.
And Jessica's out here studying chess theory.
I just had to look up if that was a good move or not, because I'm just curious. I want to see
if chess is going to matter.
It doesn't matter at all, but I was
Right.
just wondering, because Windom Earle's supposed to be smart, so I just wanted to see if
Yeah,
he's playing
if
smart chess.
I mean, if he went to all this trouble to...
Pawn to rook 7. What is he, an amateur?
And then that's the end of the episode. Thank God. Motifs we talked about a bit, all the southwestern wear, the dripping
obscured face, just stuff on people's faces, and then the last guy has the dead guy.
Yeah?
Eric Powell. He has something tied around his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, around his mouth.
Oh, yeah, because he's got a pawn
right,
stuck
'cause
in
he
his
has a
mouth.
pawn in there.
Oh, okay.
God, Windom.
No.
Like, just take it down a notch.
He will not. He will
Yeah.
not do that.
Just a few notches, bro.
Bruh.
Here. If I was his mom, I would be like, bruh.
Bruh. Yeah, it's like the Zodiac Killer call. He said tone it down a little bit.
Woo. Sweet bird.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Roadhouse is proud to welcome...
Let's do the Fish in the Percolator Award. What's your funniest moment, Matt?
It's gotta be Nadine. It's gotta be when she swung that bag around. The water bottle or singlet or whatever was in there. It's just... She doesn't hesitate either. She's just like, Ed's in trouble. And like, there's something about like the stance. Like her legs are just really wide while she's swinging it. So yeah, Nadine swinging that bag around, ready to fight for Ed.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be mad, but it did really make me laugh out loud when he said, little Donnie's dead.
I'm gonna be mad?
Nobody liked that scene, but I don't like that scene, but that was really funny. I like when someone is dumb.
Yeah. A bad liar. You like when someone is a bad liar.
It's a bad liar and like can't think of something clever in this, but you know, like I like when someone, you know, a show is like not a quick thinker because you know it's written dialogue. Sometimes people are not that quick.
Yeah.
He's dead. Bye. I assume you'll
Right.
just leave now.
As a way to shut down the conversation.
Right.
I really like Denise's little noogie at Ernie.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was good.
She's at the end of her rope. All right, the ceiling fan. Scariest moment.
I will say the clown Leo the clown. is scary.
Yeah, you know, when I was watching this episode yesterday, I was like, are you ladies having problems figuring out, like, the ceiling fan? Because, like, there's not a lot of scary stuff in this run of episodes. And yeah, if not for that clown thing, I don't know what I'd choose.
I feel like the last thing's pretty scary.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
visual.
But like, yeah, the 40 minutes that preceded all this, I was like, there's nothing really scary in this whole episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely the clown. That one takes it for me.
There's always one or two things, but I actually kind of feel like the power going on and off is the scariest part of that for me, because it just lets her know
Something's up.
it's not just the power going off by itself. How it going on and off like that is like someone's fucking with you, because she immediately thinks it's Bobby, which... Oh my god. I would murder Bobby myself if he did that as like a joke. That's not fucking cool at all. This woman is traumatized. Come on. Alright, we're doing the LVP.
Oh, gosh.
And this can never be James. Because it's always James.
Right.
I'm kind of sad because I like him, but Andy just kind of seemed to be stuck into other people's storylines.
That's good.
Like, he didn't need to be at the adoption agency. Like, that could have just been Dick there. He just kind of seemed to be attached, like an appendage to other people's storylines. He didn't have anything going on of his own.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Andy. I like you normally, but you're LVP for me.
I think that's a good call. It's really weird because somehow, like, Dick is really fixated on Andy in this particular plot.
Right.
He's like, I've been trying to get a hold of you, Andrew.
He wants to sneak into a building and go through their files, so I want a man in a police uniform with me because people are less likely to ask questions. You know what I mean? If you walk in with some authority and, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that could be the thinking.
But that's definitely not what's going on here.
It's not. No, you just...
It's like, I don't even... Did Andy even have a line? Oh, no, he did have a line in the adoption office, but I don't know. It's just like...
He kept saying, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't even want to be there.
Yeah.
He actually had some good advice. He's like, you should be looking at that in the car.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to read it in here. And he's crouched down in this weird way in the corner.
Yeah. Who's yours?
I have a toss-up between Ben and Catherine because I just hate that
Mhm.
scene so much. I guess Catherine, because Catherine, what are you doing? This
Well,
guy,
I know. It's
trying
one
to
thing when
kill
he's all
you.
clean in a suit, whatever. I mean, he's not my type, but like at least there
He's
could be an
tall,
argument
you know.
made.
Yeah.
Tall can go a long way. But like, I mean, yeah, he tried to kill her, right?
Yeah.
And probably smells super bad.
But-
And he's fighting for the Confederacy.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows her weak spot, the motorboarding.
Yes. Good. She can motor a pee.
Between the tits is her most erogenous zone.
Nothing like air being blown between her tits.
Well, that's not how you're going to sell me.
No. I'm gonna go with Ed. Yeah, just because his stupid actions.
He pulls Norma away from work to, like, not give her new information.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, we need to talk. You first. Okay?
I know. Just say it's for a quickie. Like, I'd forgive it. I mean, I don't know if I'd forgive it.
Yeah, we need to fuck.
We need to fuck.
That's
That's
just
just
said.
that would have made more sense.
I would love it if she picked up that check and let's fuck.
TTF.
I gotta run an errand.
You up? Yeah.
Yeah, they had to send paper you up text. That's why it's called a text.
Oh my god, I just hate that he traps her.
You're not going to sell me on Ed being
Yeah.
LVP.
Yeah.
And it's always for the same reason, but it's true, and I especially hate the whole you first thing when he asked her to.
Yeah, yes.
That's just not okay. Alright, MVP!
I'm going Denise. She saved the day.
She did.
And she did it using her feminine wiles.
Yes.
It was actually, like, important. Appearing as a woman, like, disarmed everyone. And, I don't know, a man could not have done that. Like, she couldn't have been, like, dressed up in, like, the suit and done the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
She was not as effective in her man outfit.
Yeah.
Right. I was either Nadine or Denise. So, a woman who saved the day. I feel like I picked Denise last time or pretty recently, so I'm going to go with Nadine because she also saved the day, even though it's just Ed. Whatever.
I love Nadine.
She's really funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Hank might have killed Ed.
Yeah.
Because he's
Right.
a bad
That would've been
person.
props.
But no, Nadine, the more the show goes on, the more I feel for her.
Well, also, now I have a soft spot for her because of the thing Brugo said about her when he said that the high school Nadine.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks that's what I would have been like in high school. Which
No.
I wasn't, but now I like it. Should have been more like that.
Yeah. Aw, she's so great.
It's like
she's really
my
great.
alter ego in some way.
I totally love that. Yeah. That, like, Miss Piggy energy. Well, I agree with Denise. I totally love that. And I really noticed how whenever she was in the suit, she did not feel comfortable. Like, even after she gets captured and they get made, like, she just kind of hangs her head and she's like, I don't know what to do now. And it seems like whenever she's in her real clothes, she's, like, confident and she's just a better agent. And she even says when Cooper first sees her, like, I started dressing as a woman for being undercover and it felt right.
Yeah.
Right, like that, she does really get across that it's not like she's not a man dressed up as a woman. She's like someone who realized she's a woman.
Yeah.
It's really a wonderful portrayal.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about being ahead of your time for...
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Twin Peaks is often ahead of its time, but that was a really unusual
Yeah,
thing.
in terms of, like, mainstream entertainment being, like, trans-sensitive in some way, like, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I can't even think of, like, what are other early trans characters in pop culture. I mean, you know, I'm sure there's...
Silence of the Lambs.
In the Crying Game.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Not great.
Yeah. Yeah, not super. Not super.
So we get to reference the edited for television Crying Game.
I can never find it, though.
I have never found it, but I saw it.
Yeah.
It's a thing that happened. God, somewhere someone's got like a VHS tape.
I've been saying it for a long time, like, DVDs and Blu-ray should have come with TV edits.
God, yes.
As like a bonus feature, because I think the first time that I saw Showgirls or Pulp Fiction was like the TV edits of these things. And it's just like, Pulp Fiction on TV, it's gonna be like a 30-minute movie about people who like cheeseburgers and the Bible.
Yeah.
And just like the dialogue being like the... Oh, did you ever see the edit of Snakes on a Plane?
Oh.
The classic line is... And I think it was that they played it on the plane.
I have had it with these monkey-fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
What? That's insane. Why did they have it be the same thing at least?
Or like the TV edit of like Big Lebowski was like, this is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps.
Yeah. It's like, why does it have to sound vaguely like what you're...
Right,
like,
you're recording a new line anyway, right? Yeah.
And it's not going to look like... But there's... I mean, it's so funny. Anyway, great job. Thanks for helping us through this episode.
Of course. Glad to be here.
It'll be a lot more palatable to our listeners this way.
I was gonna say, you got a lot more of these episodes to go. Like,
I know, I keep like looking at the episode count. I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
We got a ways to go, but we can do it.
I don't know, I feel like you guys are gonna have the same problems with like the Dougie episodes and the Return. I just feel like there's a lot of Dougie.
I love Dougie. What are you talking about?
But it's so much Dougie though. Like,
I literally love every minute of it.
Like, don't everything that's in the Return is there. It should be there. No notes, no edits from that.
All right then.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna have an LVP. I don't even know how we're gonna do that. We'll figure it out.
Shelley says James has always been cool, so she's the LVP.
Wow. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I can't imagine giving it to Shelley, but we'll see what
She did say James has always been cool.
She did say that, but maybe she was being sarcastic.
There's no value in that. She was not.
All right. Oh, Matt, do you have anything you want to plug?
Just the usual podcast, X-Rated. We have 4.5 hours of Oscar episode. That's probably going to be the most recent at the time that this episode comes out. But it's 4.5 hours of Oscar stuff that you can dig into. So, yeah.
It's really good.
Do you have anything you're invested in with the Oscars this year?
I've put all my chips on Jessica Chastain winning Best Actress, which was hotly contested in the Oscar special. Yes and no. Two of us, because we had our guest Darren Duzon, two of us felt that Olivia Colman gave the best performance, but it's not classic Oscar fodder. They like their biopics. So we kind of decided that it was going to go to a biopic. So I went with Eyes of Tammy Faye for the winner. But some people disagreed with me.
Some people.
Some people.
That was, I think, my favorite part when our Oscars, when we talked about The Lost Daughter.
Yes.
It was me and Bax and Christina and guest star Denise. So 2 mothers and 2 non-mothers, and the was talking about The Lost Daughter. We're like, every frame of that movie makes absolute sense, you know?
And they were like, we didn't get it.
I don't get it. Why did she take that doll? I'm like, it makes so much sense why she took that doll.
I can't explain it, but it made perfect sense.
It's like, took the doll, she's like,
up?
I took the doll.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty interesting. Anyway, listen to our Oscar podcast. We have something out tomorrow. Really Weird Stuff is hosted by Annie Malone and Jessica Baxter. Music by Julie Cruz, Angelo Badalamenti, and Jessica Baxter. If you enjoyed Really Weird Stuff, Please take a minute to rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. Follow us on Instagram at ReallyWeirdStuffPod, on Twitter at ReallyWeirdPod, and on Facebook at Really Weird Stuff Podcast. Thank you for listening.